Shawn Cowie, Monroe Guest. And Shawn obviously has to do what we talk about all the time. Take a green light. Don't do anything silly.
I talked to Monroe Guest and their guys. I said, wow, your car is running so very well. What are you doing between rounds? They said, charging the battery and dusting the car. They said, we don't want to touch it the way it's running. That'd be a novelty for guys with 8 fuel cars, but it's been working out pretty well so far.
And as quick as 5:15, been 5:16 a couple of times. The #1 qualifier with the best car by far is in the left lane. And the #1 qualified car just went down. Shawn Cowie goes 5:39 as Monroe Guest had problems, and they are plenty happy at the starting line.
Amazing. Again, for the 15th time this year, the #1 qualifier not going to win the race and not even get to the final round. It's only happened twice this season. We're talking about a car that, from a performance standpoint, was the class of the field, a 1/10 of a second. That's why you give yourself a chance. You don't try to get up in red light. Look at that out of the gate. The same thing from Monroe Guest that we saw from Brandon Johnson before him. He pedaled that car, shook the tires, tried to get back into it. Cowie goes 39, 267 miles an hour. And back on the starting line, they were absolutely pumped up. And they should be. They took out the baddest dude on the block. And the car, from a performance standpoint, was the class of the field. As I always say, we have these silly rules. You got to win the rounds to advance the championship.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is the same Shawn Cowie with the big wheel stand and had the great divisional year.
Yep.
But has yet to win a national event. He will pick his lane against Brandon Johnson. You think this team will be this happy after the Top Alcohol Dragster Finals? Well, we will find out when we come back, because it is final round time here at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Where this man right here, Brandon Johnson, is set to go in the final. On the other side of the racetrack is Shawn Cowie, a guy who has not won a national event. Could we have 2 first-time national event winners at the 500? Be pretty cool.
50-50 shot right now. The supercharged car.
How'd you come up with those odds?
Well, math has always been my long suit. You know what I always say. There are 3 kinds of people in the world. Those who can do math, those who can't.
Think about that one.
Well, you got the supercharged car getting set to go with Shawn Cowie. Brandon Johnson with the A-Fuel dragster. Brandon now over on the right-hand side of the racetrack. He's been over on the other side most of the time. He and his dad started out running with the supercharged car and then switched a few years ago. You can see the route they took here, beating Dwayne Shields, Jim Whiteley, and Courtney Forrest. 3 pretty good race cars, yeah. And then Shawn Cowie surviving after he got the gift in the opening round. Red light in the other lane, survived a nasty, very impressive wheel stand, and took out the #1 qualifier in the semifinals. So should be an interesting matchup here. The key, can that injected car keep from dropping the cylinders? Shawn Cowie over on the side of the racetrack that has given some of the drivers trouble, especially in about the first 600 feet.
Well, it is Shawn Cowie who has lane choice. Brandon has been over in that left lane all weekend long. That could go into part of the decision-making here as we get ready to cap the 500th national event. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Both these good family operations. Brandon's dad, the crew chief over there, and Shawn's dad. Actually, you can see him back there wiping the tires behind the race car. That's what he normally does.
Has Shawn Cowie closed the deal in a national event? Yes, he has. 535, 267. And a guy who has never lifted a national event trophy will join Daniel Oliver and do it at the 500.
That is so cool. He had a perfect points total in the division. Back there on the starting line, a lot of folks. His dad back there, Bill Moore, who helps in the race car. His girlfriend Taylor is down there on the starting line. And what a marvelous run right here. 2 drivers basically dead even out of the gate, but by 60 feet, Shawn Cowie's supercharged car was out in front, ran 220 miles an hour. Did Brandon Johnson there at the 8th mile, but it was in a losing effort as Shawn Cowie goes 5:35. Those drop cylinders cost the injected car, just like we thought they might.
A jubilant celebration at the starting line and a pretty happy driver at the far end.
Shawn Cowie is very happy climbing out of here. They want to make sure he gets on the Lucas Oil hat. And Shawn, congratulations. First national event win. What's going through your mind right now?
This is awesome. I got the best crew in the world. I'm speechless. This is great. Wow. They're a lot bigger.
Let me ask you about the wheel stand earlier today in the first round.
That was unexpected. We were just trying different things all weekend long. We're kind of in experiment mode for the rest of the year. And obviously worked.
It's kind of wild, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a pretty fun ride. I enjoyed it. So.
There it is, you know. Up until a couple of races ago, he had never been past the second round at a national event. Now he's going back-to-back final rounds in Dallas and here. That's a very strong race car. They say they're experimenting or in test mode for next year. Like I said, ran the table at the divisional, picked up 5 wins there, struggled on the national level, or he could have been a player for the championship. And basically in the alcohol dragster class now, Jim Whiteley will be here for the division race. He has got to win that Lucas Oil division race to go into Pomona to have a mathematical chance of catching Bill Reichert.
And keep in mind, Reichert will be in Pomona with that national event.
I'm pretty sure he's going to show up.
Will Cowie finish in the top 10 with a divisional scorecard, now national event?
Shawn Cowie will finish 4th, regardless of what else happens the rest of the season.
What else can we look forward to going to Pomona next?
A couple of championships could still be up for grabs, depending upon what happens at that Lucas Oil division. Remember, the sportsman racers claim points at nationals and divisionals. Most of them are pretty much all sewn up. That Val Torres, though, has got a chance to come from out of nowhere to win the Super Gas title.